Welcome to the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Did you make sure to read the list of whiteness or white culture before you entered, sir?
Uh, it's a long list.
But did you read it?
Uh, I got the pamphlet right here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, time management.
Um, yes.
Working hard before you don't work hard.
Excessive.
Uh,
Yes.
Planning for the future.
The future that causes anxiety, sir. It's a very white
Judeo-Christian
thing.
values.
Oh no, they own the Fed, sir. And don't forget PB&J and Friends.
Right. I'm Steve,
I'm Tom.
and this is Demagogue News with things you need to know about episode 41, Can Count edition. We got another tirade of things, Tom.
Yeah.
We have
Holy Christ.
a massive, just,
In the past 3 days since we last recorded, it's been a lot.
it's been
of
a long
shit.
time. So, what are we talking about in the beginning here?
I mean, to go off of the cold open, the National, like I just said, the National Museum of African American History and Culture just released a list of like whiteness or like white culture.
Yeah, it's a little pamphlet thing. It says, talking about race, aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. And I think that as much as this list is retarded, you can find this at their website, the nmahc.si.edu. You can find this.
Check it
and
out for yourself. It's really well done, in my opinion.
It's actually a very good graphic that they made. It was very nice. And I think that the intro is lovely. I'm going to read it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
White dominant culture, or whiteness, refers to the ways white people and their traditions, attitudes, and ways of life have been normalized over time and are now considered standard practices in the United States. And since white people still hold most of the institutional power in America, we have all internalized some aspects of white culture, including people of color. What does that even mean? White people, been around for a while?
It essentially says that these characteristics that they listed below are, were placed upon people of color by white culture in the United States.
Yeah, like it's like the way it sounds like it's been forced upon it to be created as normal.
Yes.
What it reminds me of is the same thing we did back with Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
We took them from their families and then taught them the English way.
Yeah.
This ain't like it, because there was a stark difference between like Native American culture and the U.S. culture of the 1850, 40, 30. It's a little different. And you got the list?
Yeah, I've got it in front of me.
What's the first? My favorite is the first
Dude,
one.
this one, I'm like, what
This
the
is the
shit?
worst.
So it starts off with, like, right hot out the gates, like, rugged individualism. It's where the individual is the primary unit. It's on, like, self-reliance, independence, like, self-autonomy. Like what? Like being in control of your own environment? That's an exclusively white thing? Like, hold the fuck on.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that before us white people. All of China must have been in chaos. The history that's 5 times as older than all of Europe in its entirety.
Yeah, it's like a 5,000-year-old recorded history in China. I guess they just weren't in control of their own destiny this whole
The
time.
people that built Machu Picchu did it with no schedule, apparently.
No, or self-autonomy for that
The
matter.
Sphinx, Göbekli Tepe. No. There was no reliance on people working hard for themselves.
Oh man,
But then the next one, I think, is the scariest one. White people invented the nuclear family of father, mother, and a couple children as the ideal social unit.
like for that one, I'm just kind of scratching my head, considering there's been multiple studies done on single parent like households.
And it's never positive.
No, never ever. Like, it's just kind of spitting in the face of like reality at that point.
I mean, the flip side is like what is it, like a thermonuclear family? What if it's everyone living in the house? Everyone supporting themselves in one household. What about a family in a farm? They own a couple acres and they farm stuff, and it's grandma, Mima, and Papa.
Like multi-generational
Yeah,
household.
that must be even worse, actually.
I mean, that's they didn't say that specifically because, like, okay, if you're Hispanic, let's say, or Asian, you are
That's
very
most.
likely to live in a multi-generational household.
Right, but this specific, mom and dad and kids, apparently that's pretty bad.
Mm.
And then I don't know why, but at the very end, children having their own rooms, to be independent.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. So they also want you to be a helicopter parent, even though your two parents aren't there. So how are you supposed to work and be a helicopter parent at the same time?
Well, or your life is so bad that you have your 2.5 kids in the same room and they're on bunk beds.
I don't know. I shared a room with my brother, like all growing up.
Right.
So-
I mean, sometimes you got two in them at bed, sometimes you don't. Like, why is that? Like, they pointed that out as being significant.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then the next one, my
Oh,
favorite.
this one is like,
Hey, hashtag abolish them. Okay,
like
that's all I gotta say.
scientific method. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. Like rational thinking, like linear rational thinking.
I just
like that's dumb.
don't
Okay,
even say it.
that's-
It's disgusting.
that's
That's
an
so
exclusively
white.
white thing. Like,
That's disgusting, Tom.
so like all those things coming out of Asia, how are they pumping these out? I'm just curious.
Well, as you know, science didn't exist before white people.
Boy.
Yeah, cause and effect relationships. I think animals figure that out.
Look, if I put my hand on the stove, I'm gonna get burnt. Maybe I shouldn't put my hand on the stove.
Animals figure out like, oh, don't eat that, or it makes you feel bad, or it murdered my friend, my other coyote friend. He died when he ate that, so I'm gonna go ahead and not eat that. Animals figure that out. White people didn't start cause and effect.
No, that's okay. Like as for most of these, like white people really didn't like invent them. I think just like they're all like people, like normal.
I mean, a couple of them.
Human
I don't
things.
think anybody invented them.
Yeah, like okay,
Like cause and effect. No, nobody.
no.
Plants have cause and effect.
Yeah. So I mean that one's just silly. They go further on, history. Obviously, that's something they don't like.
No.
Yeah, it talks about like the Greco-Roman culture, Judeo-Christian values, emphasis on the British Empire.
Now, the British Empire for a while was pretty fucking important.
I
So
mean, it's a huge part of world history. Like, it's kind of hard to talk about world history without talking about the British
the
Empire.
world never set. The sun never set on the British Empire.
Right?
Yeah, that's white though.
I mean, plus if you like let's say you're a black person, it does help to explain like how you live in the United States in the first place.
Yeah, like if you learn where people came from and why they were there, it kind of makes sense of why they're there now.
Yeah, but they don't want you to talk about the British Empire in like the 1619
No.
project, I guess.
And then the next one, Protestant work ethic. Why is it Protestant?
I mean that goes back goes way back kind of to our founding. It's essentially like work hard.
Like
Yeah.
Puritans kind of deal.
Play later, temperance, that kind of stuff.
If you don't work, you don't eat. That's some John Smith type stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's also in the Bible.
savings, man.
Yeah. Hard work is the key to success.
Ooh, that's bad, man. Work
That bad.
work hard. Ooh.
What was that? The small thing that we'd hear about every and then called the American Dream.
It's not a dream, it's a nightmare.
Apparently it's a nightmare. It's terrible. Also, if you didn't meet your goals, it's because you didn't work hard enough. 99% of the time, that's probably true.
Yeah. And it goes for anyone. Like name an athlete who's like, "Oh yeah, I just like coasted my way up here to the pros and won a championship."
Usain Bolt has never worked hard in his life.
Yeah, I guess.
Nope. Federer has never tried at tennis in his life. Michael Jordan never tried in his life. It just came to him. He didn't have to work at goals or learn strategy or get better at a skill. It's just, it's easy.
Yeah. All right. Next is religion, which is like Christian, very Christian, Judeo-Christian, centric. Everything else is foreign. No tolerance for like another.
I think the most interesting one is the last one. No tolerance for deviation from single God concept. So monotheism.
I don't really see any like hate crimes against Hindus. Like me personally, I'm sure there are.
And
but
they're
like,
the only large polytheistic religion that is out there that is in big numbers.
yeah, I mean Buddhists are technically polytheistic, but they're like a different.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't call Buddhism a religion either.
no, it's more of like a thought processes than.
Yeah,
like
it's a Tao. It's a way of life.
It's a discipline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Status, power, and authority. They hate this shit. Like the far left, like any of these things. Like wealth equals worth. Which I'm sorry, but if you're really wealthy, people just want to talk to you because you have opportunities around you.
Right, like you obviously succeeded in the society. You're doing good because you have more green things than I do. I want to talk to you. You're popular.
Yeah, like if you're a drug addict, I'm sorry, you're judged by the company you keep. Like I don't want to hang with you.
Who's really poor and popular?
Diogenes the Cynic.
Today, Tom. Today, Socrates is really poor and really popular.
Yeah. Okay.
Today.
Yeah. Today, yeah, not.
Today, Junior.
Yeah, it can't. Nobody comes to mind specifically.
No.
Like your job is who you are, which, like I'll give them that one. Like I don't
I'll
think.
actually give him that
yeah,
one too.
That one I think is good.
I am not my job.
Mhm.
You're not your job. It is a job that I do. That we either like our jobs or don't like our jobs.
Yeah, but they're still jobs.
They're
like,
just
they're
jobs.
Respect authority.
Ooh. Because there weren't kings in Africa.
No, hierarchies actually didn't exist before the white man, I guess.
And also, as Jordan Peterson taught us, hierarchies are in animals,
Yeah.
specifically lobsters.
lobsters.
Wolves, I mean, every
Yeah.
dogs, all animals have hierarchies.
And then the last one of those, high value on ownership of goods, space, and property. Which, okay, I'm sorry. To me, that like the U.S.'s emphasis on private property is one of the reasons why it became such a success.
Why is Texas awesome? Everything is private property.
Literally everything.
The
Like, it's-
98% of the state is private property. Yeah, owning property is good. Yeah, and then the next one, my favorite one, time. Time is my favorite one.
time
time.
and future orientation.
Yeah, for future orientation, but time. Following rigid time schedules. I'm sorry. How the fuck are you gonna farm if you don't follow time schedules of you farm in March and you'll harvest in July?
Yeah, that's.
I didn't know that was terrible. I didn't know that waking up at 8 in the morning to get a head start in the day was bad.
I don't either. I don't know. Late, like people who don't, who are not on time, piss me off. I guess I'm just too white. Like I get
Well, I was
physically like.
I would love to see this enacted. I was listening to Tim Pool and he had a wonderful explanation.
Yeah.
How do you go to a meeting? You're at a big business and there's no.
Tim Pool talks about this.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He went over this a little bit. Like, how do you go to a meeting? Meeting's at 9 o'clock. Well, there's no concept of time, so you get there at 9:10 and nobody's there. Okay, so then you wait 10 minutes, you leave, but at 9:25, someone else, two people show up, but no one's here. There's no you have to have concepts of time. The Mayans had a concept of time.
Yeah, they were actually better mathematicians than the Romans.
Birds have chickens have a concept of time. The rooster knows when it's the morning.
Oh man, yeah. I got nothing on that one. And it's even funnier when it says time is viewed as a commodity. So every rapper who has said that, like Wiz Khalifa said, time is money, so I bought myself a Rolex. So is he like inside? Is he an Oreo? Like is he just a white
You know
man
what?
on the inside?
He's holding on to the repressed feelings that have been placed upon him. That's
boy.
why. Also, nobody lives forever. It is literally the most universal commodity that can ever exist.
Yeah,
Is your time on Earth.
definitely is a commodity.
Kinda, sorta.
Also, planning for the future is a white thing. Delayed gratification. I'm like, you are shitting me.
So, not getting it now so you can get more later.
That's just being really smart.
That's one of that's got to be. Jesus said, "Do unto others as you would like to do unto you." Also, wait. How about just wait a minute? That's a great second golden rule. Waiting is good. Not having everything, and also that's like a brand new concept because before technology, everything was delayed gratification.
Mhm.
There was no concept of having things now.
Yeah.
If it was an 8 days horseback ride to the nearest town, you didn't get anything fast.
I mean, yeah, like, or just like investing in anything. Like, let's say you have $40 in your pocket and you are hungry. Like, you can either like go spend all $40 on a nice dinner, or spend like $2 on 2 McChickens and then put the rest in your gas tank so you can go to work so you can get a lot more dinners. Like, just kind of.
Nope. No. I want lobster. I'm a surf and turf, Tom.
Yeah, boy. And then tomorrow will be better. Well, apparently.
Apparently tomorrow's fucking shit
Yeah,
for everybody
apparently
else.
every day sucks for you.
And it only gets worse every single day. Because most of the time it does get better. Well, so if your mother dies,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to hear tomorrow? Hey, tomorrow's gonna be worse, bro. Hey, I feel you. Like, here in bad time. I don't know what time it is, but I think it's pretty bad. But tomorrow, worse than today. And after that, it's not gonna get any better. Actually, you've hit the top of the roller coaster, and it's just all the way down from there. What? That makes sense to me, Tom.
Man. Okay. Aesthetics based on European culture. Well, then quit buying weaves, you fucking. Okay. All right. So then, bland is best is probably like, that's my favorite like thing that they say.
That's
in
the
this
most absurd one.
I love that one.
No, it's
I cracked up.
steak and potatoes. I'm sorry. There is no nation that, one, doesn't eat meat and fucking enjoys it, and two, doesn't enjoy a starchy underground vegetable. Every
Right.
nation in the world enjoys both of those things.
Bland is best. Though.
You don't eat cows, you don't eat pork, fine, you eat lamb. Lamb, delicious. Do you eat some type of tuber that comes out of the ground? Fuck yes, you do, because everyone has fucking potatoes. And guess what? You don't like French fries? You don't like hash browns? You don't like, well, yeah, McDonald's French fries, the greatest in the nation. Can't beat them. They're the number one.
No, they're pretty
You don't
good.
like McDonald's French fries? You don't like a good ribeye? Come on. I mean, if I said oatmeal, I'd be like, all right, cool, oatmeal. But like steak and potatoes,
I mean,
it's bomb.
I just had oatmeal today. Okay, like actually right before this recording. Embracing my whiteness. So for women's beauty is based on, but essentially the Barbie look, which
Yeah, like in the 90s maybe.
yeah, I don't know, I don't agree with that, but
Yeah, thick women are great.
yeah,
What you talking about?
those like curves, yeah. But then men's attractiveness is based on economic status, power, and intellect, which is true for every society, whichever
Since the
existed
beginning of time.
ever. Like,
Uh,
so what? So we're just so women should just procreate with dudes who are lazy, stupid, and poor,
And
like,
fat.
Yeah, and fat.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought the whole reason of being mammals is to procreate, to have our genomes. Like, we like people who we like because our pheromones and attractiveness is based on what we would want to procreate and make a baby with. That's why we like people.
Yeah.
And that will probably give us the best chance of having a healthy baby that will live on and do it again.
You're using that scientific method. I'm a little triggered.
I know. I'm sorry. My inner racism is coming out. Holidays.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
holidays. No, actually, holidays. But also, our holidays aren't even Christian.
Christmas isn't really Christian
No.
anymore. It has the word Christ in it.
No, but with the Catholic Church in like 400 AD was trying to get some pagans to come along with this whole Christianity thing, and they were celebrating the winter solstice, which, hey, that's like the 22nd of December.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you guys are celebrating the birth of Jesus, even though we probably think he was born in April.
Yeah. It's,
In the summertime. So there's a nice time for, the Middle East area. They're like, hey, you guys are celebrating. You guys are celebrating Christmas. The birth of Christ. You're all Christians. Good job, guys. Holidays aren't even ours.
I mean, yeah, you would like the vast majority of holidays have pagan roots. Like, Halloween was a Celtic festival. Like, it's
Yep.
just majority of them predate
I mean, St.
Christianity.
Valentine's. Yeah, cool. But also, the other ones that we have are constructed by either great acts that have happened in history or are placed upon people of honor and virtue.
Yeah.
Like Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's Memorial Day. I like those. Columbus Day. Well, that's getting a little spicy nowadays, but if he founded America, it's a little hard nowadays. But yeah, holidays disgusting. Although at this point now, everyone in the U.S. respects Ramadan. Like if you have a Muslim friend, you don't invite them for the month of Ramadan.
I don't know anybody who's like talking trash. Like, oh, you can't eat. Like, you suck.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you don't eat. Like, cool. Like, you want to go eat dinner later then? Because that's all
Yeah.
you can. Yeah.
Yeah, when sun sets, you want to eat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Justice based on English common law. I actually don't even like common law.
No, it's
To be-
actually kind of shit anyways.
protects property and entitlements. Which why shouldn't it?
I earned it. You're not allowed to take it
Yeah.
from me.
That's the whole point of like the state.
But the last one, intent counts.
Because it does.
So if I murder somebody because I hate them, and then if their horse kicks them in the face while they're reshoeing it and they die, is that the same thing?
According to whoever wrote this.
According to whoever wrote this, it's the same thing. Because intent doesn't mean anything.
No, it really doesn't. Competition. This one I was also kind of cracked up. Like, how many black athletes are there?
Most of them,
Yeah,
actually.
actually. So this one, I was like,
Other than hockey, it's
shitting
mostly.
me. Like B number 1, like, damn right. You are goddamn right. Win at all costs. Yes.
Excellence, disgusting.
Winner loser dichotomy. That's life.
That is literally life. Either you eat or you get eaten.
Like, must do something about a situation. Like, that's just being like proactive and responsible.
No, my favorite is on this list right here. Decision making. How is that bad? Do I want to eat steak or the potatoes?
It's like
It's starved to death, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you, decision making.
Decision making. That's
Must
jeez.
always do something about a situation.
It's like, yes, that's good.
That's what happens. You do things. Like, are you supposed to, like, you just be, Switzerland for everything? Do nothing about anything. Nothing.
Plus, yeah, if you're on a date, like, a girl isn't gonna respect you if you're
Nope.
not
Don't
making
do it.
decisions.
Don't you fucking do nothing, bro. You respect her by doing absolutely nothing to show that you
By
are
being
attracted.
a human brick. I just sit there.
Just be nothing. Be water, my friend.
And the last section is communication. King's English rules. I've never even heard that shit.
I have no idea what that is.
Written tradition. It's like, yeah, writing is good.
Who said writing is the death of human memory?
Who said that?
I believe it was Aristotle. That the invention of writing will be the death of human memory.
Okay, well, fuck him, and I don't like Aristotle anyway, philosophically speaking. Like,
Yeah, well, I think it's nice that Plato wrote some shit down so we can learn about it.
mhm.
Like, how about fucking all geometry?
Yeah,
That
pretty much
was great.
any story ever.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, was it Platonian solids? Euclidean solids?
Like, we could go, like, dude, subtitles in movies. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was great to write things down.
Avoid conflict and intimacy. I don't.
Is it avoid conflict also intimacy?
I
'Cause
have
I think
no idea.
everybody has intimacy because we're still around, and I think everyone's parents got jiggy with it
Yeah.
at least once.
Yeah. At least, obviously there wouldn't be white people if white people never got intimate.
But there
to
wouldn't be
begin with.
anybody anywhere if nobody got anything done.
Yeah. That's also, or have hierarchies. Okay, we could go on forever after that. Don't show emotion. If you're a man, I would advise toning it down a little.
That's a very Russian thing.
Yeah, well, that's why they're cool people.
Yeah.
Except for
You don't discuss personal life.
Dude.
Keep your shit to yourself.
I'm gonna-
MYOB.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. If I don't know you personally, I don't want to know your personal life.
Right. But the last one, be polite.
That's just good manners.
That's just good manners. Don't be a fucking prick, maybe.
So
That is as might as well have been dissertation in whiteness.
yeah, we just went over the whole list, and it's like, if you do the opposite of everything on this list, your life will be terrible. I guarantee you.
That's something you can't really guarantee a lot of things in life because life is very strange. But if you follow the opposite of everything on that list, you will have a god awful life.
Like, damn, you'll make no decision. You'll essentially just like sit until you starve and you die in your own filth.
You gonna poop? I can't.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's like,
Should I feed my dog? You know what? He can feed himself.
like, this is like the more, I guess, polished version of, like, I know this was a thing for the black community for a while. Like, if you're black and you're well spoken, like, somebody would try to check you and be like, "Oh, why are you talking white?" It's like, I don't know, because I want to get a damn job.
I think that's the worst insult that of a culture eating itself is why are you acting like somebody's successful?
Yeah,
'Cause that's
like,
the insult. Why are you acting white?
yeah, it's like that, and the person who's saying that is probably like not successful, and they're just trying to be like a crab and pull you back down.
It's the classic crab in a pot. You can't leave. You have to stay at my level
Yeah,
because they don't want you to succeed. Why? Because it hurts to see people around you that were previously lesser and now greater than you, and they don't want that, so they're gonna pull you down and make sure you don't make them feel bad.
Like, just a really jealous person who wrote this list, and to me, it just obviously we're conspiratorial, so it's almost like encouraging like people of color to live in mediocrity, so that they keep having to so that they essentially get on the government's teat forever, and they always have to rely on the far left.
Well, like the Museum of African American. This is not African American history.
No,
There's a lot of amazing African American history.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't think they mention any figures on that. Like, hey, here's who you should be like.
I was watching this one video. There was a king in the Western, what is now like Morocco, Western Africa, that had so much fucking gold that he'd give it out and ruin the price of gold in every city.
About, Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa.
I think he's from like present day, like
it's
Mali.
the Western. Yeah,
present day Mali.
Yeah, he was so fucking wealthy. First of all, I believe he had a shit ton of slaves.
Yeah. Well, because everyone did back
then.
Because
anyone with power had slaves, and he had so much fucking gold that he'd go places and ruin the economy. Because he'd just be like, "Yep, here you go, everybody, fucking yeah, I'm fucking rich as shit, yo." There's a great African history. Yeah, Egypt is African history.
Actually, they don't really. Well, this is called African American, but that's an excellent point. Like, I still really haven't seen a whole lot about African culture, or African history. Like
Kwanzaa.
That Kwanzaa's a made-up fucking holiday. Like, that's just like in the U.S. we weren't really taught it in school. So
no, we were taught world history and then American history. And guess what? Someone in Germany learned world history and probably German history.
Yeah,
I don't know. People living in Scotland probably learned Scottish history. I don't know dick about Scottish history.
Like John Locke.
I don't. Yeah,
he was English, but like
people in China learn Chinese history. I mean, we go over a little bit, but they go in depth.
Yeah.
And they got a lot to learn. Japan, Russia. That's where they're fucking from.
Yeah, I mean, I would be like more than down to get like an African historical movie or documentary to come out, but I'm just not seeing the push for that, despite all of this like shaming on this list.
For not having it. I'm sure there's 101 amazing stories in the annals of history that archaeologists have discovered and found of interesting shit that have happened in African countries in nations forever.
There's like a mini series on Shaka Zulu. I haven't checked that out, but I probably will because I'm a history nerd.
Right. But nope. Apparently it's terrible.
All bad.
It's not worth talking about. Speaking of apparently terrible black people, Nick Cannon.
Oh boy,
Nick Cannon's been coming up a lot. I'll be honest.
This one kind of hurts me just because like I liked him a lot as a kid when he was on Nickelodeon, and now he's talking about.
But say his show's on Nickelodeon. He stayed with Nickelodeon forever.
Yeah,
that dude has stayed forever. But apparently he's the worst person in the world. Why is that, Tom?
Because he not because he called white savages.
No, that's normal.
But then he said you can't say anything anti-Semitic because blacks are the original Israelites, and Viacom fired his ass.
Was that the anti-Semitic? I thought it was something else.
I'm pretty sure he said something else. Like,
yeah,
I just remember that was like part of the tagline.
Yeah, but he went through how everyone's terrible, and then he pointed out that Jews aren't that great. Immediately, the next day, this is on his YouTube podcast that he does. The next day, Viacom, the parent company of his show, fired him immediately, which I didn't think you were able to do that. Like, isn't that a breach of contract? I don't think in the contract is like don't
pretty sure you
be
could
anti-Semitic
if you break their rules of engagement. Like if you do something,
like terms of conduct.
Like yeah, let's say like I don't know, Barbara Walters like started spouting Nazi shit. I'm pretty sure The View would pull her, or would have pulled her.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. So he got pulled, and but he got some some higher profile people backed him.
He's got a good amount of support actually.
Yeah. So Charlemagne the God said, "You know who has the power because look who you talk shit about, and they pull you."
Elon said something about that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he was talking about those in power in Hollywood and entertainment industry. And the next quote was like, "Whoa, Elon, what you talking about?"
Uh-oh.
And the next one was, "The fact that you're implying that I'm thinking about the Jews when I wasn't talking about that whatsoever shows your systemic racism and anti-Semitism." I was like, "Whoa, that was smart, Elon."
Yeah, that's a nice bait and switch.
But I'm sorry. I guess Jews aren't white people then.
Yeah, I never really like.
But
got
there
that.
are but being Jewish isn't a race.
It's like the only ethno-religious group of people I can think of.
Right, because there's Muslims of every color, there's Christians of every color,
Mhm.
there's Jews of every color.
I mean, there's different. Okay,
There's a
there's
lot
like
of different Jews out there.
there's like your Ethiopian Jews, but then there's like your Jews, like the
Hasidic Jews with the curly hair.
the sons of Abraham, like
I don't know.
yeah, that's the only instance I could think of, and I'm pretty sure in the Jewish community. I mean, I'm not a Jew. I don't
I'm
know.
not a Jew either.
But I'm pretty sure that like you could convert, but you're still not like really part of the club.
Yeah, if your mama wasn't Jewish, you ain't really Jewish.
Yeah, but
you can read the Torah and wear a yarmulke, but
you could have kids with a Jewish woman, and then like
then your kids will be Jewish.
yeah, and then I'm pretty sure you get a little clout for at least having like Jewish kids and Jewish grandkids.
That'd probably help. If you'll
Yeah.
you'll have a Jewish grandma
Uh-huh.
and a Jewish wife, so
Yeah.
you'll at least be in the in group.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. But I mean, it goes to show who you can't talk about.
Yeah, it
God
does.
forbid you say the wrong thing about the God's chosen people, which Nick Cannon says is actually black people.
Oh, that's like the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. That's like they've been on Jerry Springer. and
Have
whatnot.
Jerry Springer.
Yeah, it's like super throwback. Who Jerry Springer is Jewish too, so that's what makes
That's
it funnier. like,
That's funny. Yeah, Nick Cannon. We'll see if he just destroyed his career or not.
yeah, we'll definitely play this one out. I mean, obviously, like since his divorce with Mariah Carey, it's been like
He was married
pretty-
to Mariah Carey.
yeah for a while.
Bro, did she divorce him or he divorce her?
I bet you she divorced him. I
Did
don't
he
know.
ma-
From any accounts
make
I've
any
heard,
money?
she's a terrible person. I don't know.
Oh.
I really can't speak on it. But also,
Wow.
since he had kids with Mariah Carey, his kids are at least 1/4 white.
Oh.
Savages.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I guess that doesn't really count.
Yeah. I mean, if Lil Pump can say the N-word, I think like you just get grandfathered in.
I guess so. Speaking of grandfathering things in, we might not have an electoral college very soon.
Yeah, you want to go into the the Northwestern
Northwestern Interstate Electoral College Pack. It's got a terrible fucking name.
Yeah,
It's got a really terrible name. But in the last couple years, there's been a thing going around, a very fun thing going around between Western states, specifically Democratic states that want to have the popular vote be the vote. And they were talking, and Hillary won. Hillary should have won with the popular vote. But we've been doing this voting style since forever of the Electoral College.
Yeah, mainly to include like rural areas of the country who otherwise wouldn't have a vote.
Small states versus big states. You remember this from history class, government class. This is what they were talking about. And there's been a thing going around. The Northwestern Interstate Compact, I believe, is the actual term, that basically says that they will not have electoral college members be able to vote by themselves. Now, normally some states have it so whoever wins the state, all the electorals must go to this candidate. It's called first past the post. If you get 51% in the state, then you get all the electoral college members. Great, pretty simple.
Unless you live in Nebraska or Maine.
Yeah,
that's how it
Maine's,
works.
yeah, but they're small. Not that too terribly important.
Mm-mm.
But what this is going to change is that everyone that is in this compact will then see, and if the popular vote goes to one candidate or the other, then everyone in these states will vote for whoever wins the nation's popular vote, not your state's popular vote.
So, I would just like to call bullshit. They will do that only if Joe Biden wins the popular vote.
Of course they would, because if Trump wins the popular vote, you think California is going to be like,
That
yeah,
would be so amazing.
California.
Like, to see California go to Trump, I would cry tears of joy.
Bro, the happening will happen then. But this is what's been going around, and from what I understand, of the states, I think it's like 19, 20 states, something. 194 electoral college votes are under this compact.
Okay, well, they're all Democratic states.
They're all Democratic states.
They were all going to go for Biden anyway. Let's be
And
real here.
other than there's a couple swing states in there. Apparently, here in Nevada, they've had some legislative hearings about it, and some legislative branches support it. But the thing is, this is also illegal.
Mm-hmm.
States cannot have a compact with another state without the ratification by Congress.
Yep.
Because when the last time that happened, this little war happened, and it wasn't great.
Yeah, like once it becomes an interstate agreement, it's
It is
federal
now illegal.
domain, Yeah.
Yeah. is now illegal. And you can't make it just between 2 states. It has to be all the states.
Yep.
So without an act of Congress, this won't happen. But if, let's say, Democrats win the House and the Senate, what's stopping them from being able to do that?
Nothing.
So maybe if they lose this battle but win the rest of the war of like the rest of elections, that's kind of fucky.
Yeah, it's a huge like downward slope from that point.
Right, because but I'm actually curious to see, because everything on polling is showing that Trump is the worst president of all time, and that Democrats will sweep every single seat and every single election this cycle in November.
That's what we're seeing, but obviously 2016 showed us that you can't.
Polls don't mean anything. Yeah.
A lot of people are very guarded with their opinions. Let's just say.
Yeah, being that in some states it's might as well be illegal to be Republican.
Yeah, and especially with like Texas is a toss-up this year, which like who saw that coming?
I think it's mind blowing.
We will definitely see how. I mean, obviously it's not 0 hour yet. Like we're in July.
No, we got a couple months left. Yeah.
But that being said, I guess about these elected officials, they've been throwing around talks of a second stimulus bill.
Yes, second stimulus bill.
So they're gonna so they're supposed to. Mitch McConnell is supposed to present that to us probably like Tuesday of next week.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah, it is. So obviously they've been talking about it for a while. Some discrepancies between the two parties on what they necessarily want on the bill. So what you would probably see is another one-time payment, kind of like the $1,200, but probably a little bit less than that. You'd see as far as eligibility goes, I've heard it tossed around that only people making under $40,000.
Yeah, that's what I read. Under $40,000 to get this next stimulus payment.
So we'll again, it's all still up in the air. Like it's a need to know basis.
Yeah, and we're apparently we're not ones that need to know right now. That's for sure.
Just the people fronting the bill, I guess.
Because I haven't heard that on the news at all. Really, I've seen it in articles, but CNN, Fox, MSNBC, NBC, like no one's really been talking about this very much. Strange. I imagine they'd be ready and willing to start talking about it.
They sort of slide it under the
Rona. The Rona.
Well, obviously, a lot of it has to do with the effects that COVID had on like state budgets and school reopening. The funniest thing that I found looking at this was the difference between the price tags that Republicans and Dems gave out. So for school reopening, for instance, for like safety procedures and stuff, Republicans offered $30 billion. Democrats offered $430 billion.
$430 billion.
Yeah.
To reopen schools.
Yes.
It didn't cost that much to reopen the Strip.
Mm-mm.
And that's got to be more complicated than your local elementary school.
No, well, just to be safe.
Just to be safe. Yeah.
Man. So Dems want the continued $600 a week until the end of the year. Republicans want it ended because it disincentivizes return to work, which Steve and I definitely.
I agree. That is very true. Being that under Nevada unemployment with the stimulus package, under a 40-hour week, you make $26 an hour.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
If you don't pull out taxes, which really isn't a lot of taxes, that being that ours aren't very different, we've had the same history of hourly wage to equate to our unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you make $26 an hour to not work.
Exactly. It's a bad system, and Steve and I are dragging our feet when specifically Steve.
Well, you're not even working, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I'll be mad when I do.
Yeah, and it's because that in the Republicans they want a payroll tax reduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to make it easier for places to hire people.
Yeah, unfortunately, we aren't going to see the payroll tax cut. Most likely not. And Senator Rob Portman from my home state of Ohio, he actually proposed a $450 a week return to work bonus.
Oh, if you go to work.
Yeah, if you I see where he's coming from. That hey, dude, go to fucking work and we'll keep paying you. We just need you to start pumping money back into the economy.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad plan. I'm pretty proud of Senator Portman.
We'll give you less, but you start fucking working.
Yeah, and you'll make more overall.
Right, because your job will pay you,
Yep.
and then you'll get okay.
So
That's not a
yeah,
bad
yeah,
idea.
I don't.
Why don't we just do that?
We should have.
Get your ass to fucking work. Do something. Literally anything.
So what we won't see in the bill, including the payroll tax cut, is student loan forgiveness. That's off the board.
Yeah.
An infrastructure plan. Trump and the Dems were both talking about that for a while. Not
Well,
gonna
most
happen.
construction workers are Republican. That's probably why.
Yeah, giving money to the wrong people, and they have time schedules. That's very bad.
Yeah, time schedule's bad. Yep.
This one hurt the most. The $4,000 travel bonus.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would have been cool. Be able to get a refund for you traveling outside your state to give money to other economies.
Oh man, that would have been amazing.
We would have recouped a lot of money.
Unfortunately, with cases rising, they don't want to incentivize you to travel. So the end total for each respective bill: Republicans $1.3 trillion, Democrats $3 trillion.
I will reiterate: the entire World War II cost the United States, just for inflation, $4 trillion.
Yeah, so that's absolutely disgusting considering we spent that in a matter of months.
And haven't we already spent like 3?
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, let's.
almost as much as World War II. So I think that what the stimulus bill kind of teaches us is the major flaw in democracy, that you have a whole bunch of people who are very focused on short-term goals so that they throw away the long-term goal because it has nothing to do with their re-election.
Yeah, it's pretty useless.
So, Socrates hated democracy.
You know what? He did. He hated democracy. What else you got, Tom?
So since I'm on the topic of spending, this is going to be a quick one. Senator Chuck Schumer of New York just announced this morning the $350 billion Economic Justice Act. It would fight systemic racism, the buzzword for 2020.
And it costs how much fucking money?
$350 billion.
$350 billion.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking money.
It is a lot of, all of this is a lot of
But
fucking
I'm going to
money.
one up you right now.
Uh-oh.
The best spending of money I've ever seen, ever.
Shoot.
So the U.S. Conference of Mayors have released a letter backing a Democratic plan to form a reparations commission to come up with a payment of slavery. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Cool. And what was it? Which is the mayor? So there's a number that they found out that it's about 41 million black people have history of slavery in their ancestors.
Okay.
Right? And a study from 3 colleges professors say that the ultimate cost could be $6.2 quadrillion.
What the fuck?
Do you know how big quadrillion is? It's the next set of numbers after trillion.
That's impossible.
A study suggests a payment of $151 million per person.
Wait, what?
And the cost of every single person would in the United States would be $19 million.
That's way more than most people make in their entire lifetimes.
The entire value of all net wealth in the world is, I believe, 86 for M1 money, as like the amount of physical money available that's liquid is $86 trillion.
Okay, and
they want 151 quadrillion, which is
what in the Christ?
It's a full 3 orders of magnitude larger than all of the money in the wide world.
It's just like fantasy at this point. And obviously the shit isn't gonna get passed. It's literally just like the feels, man.
But the fact that they would say that, like, oh yeah, it's gonna cost 181 quadrillion dollars
to look people straight in the face
and
say
the fact that they'd say, oh, you know what we're gonna give you? $150 million each. I'm sorry, do you want to be Zimbabwe?
Yeah, like mass inflation, anyone?
That is a hilarious amount of money. That is, and the fact that that's real. Like somebody thought, like, oh yeah, well that's a good idea. We'll do that.
Who said that? Do you have a name?
It says mayors. So I mean, the U.S. Council of Mayors, the nation's mayors and money back to National Call, a program that could cost $6.3 quadrillion. Like at this point now, like, I mean, Senator Cory Booker have introduced legislation to create commissions to study reparations proposals. But if that's a proposal, that's a joke. That is literally a joke.
Yeah, it's a literal joke.
It's a literal joke.
My God.
quadrillion. Like that's a 1 and then 15 zeros.
Dude, it's like just when you think 2020 can't get sillier, like somebody throws out quadrillion.
And the points don't matter.
Not at all, unfortunately. Speaking of shitty mayors, the Department of Homeland Security is pressing charges against the city of Portland's officials.
Oh no.
Yeah, for enabling a mob because local businesses have reported $23 million in damages.
Oh, are they suing the city of Portland?
Yes.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, like while the riots fizzled out in most cities in the U.S., they've been going strong for like 6-7 weeks now.
About to say our buddy Rob was telling us about that, right?
Yeah, just this like terrible hellhole.
I mean, Chop, not Chaz. Oh, good old Chaz. Chop is gone. I can only imagine that the people inside the inside Chop are going to be suing fucking Jenny Durkin.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, any business owner. I could even see like people who are CHOP residents will sue Jenny Durkin. Like,
I'm about to say, I believe 9 people died in Chop.
highest death rate per capita in the world, baby.
Yeah, it's fucking thousands per million. And they should all sue. Oh, they're trying to sue the police departments.
Why would they sue sue the city? Because like
Well, no, because the police didn't come and help them.
oh yeah, they just
Because they were still taxpayers.
couldn't.
They might have still been taxpayers,
Yeah,
and
that's
they're
true.
entitled to the police from the taxes they pay.
Well, shouldn't have been in CHOP.
Should have been in Chop.
That was the experiment was life without cops. So why are you trying to sue the cops for not being there?
Because double standards, Tom.
Yeah, I guess no cops unless I'm hurt. Then I need cops.
Speaking of suing the place that you live in, good old Las Vegas is under fire right now.
No.
So recently, we went back to phase 1 from our beautiful governor, Sisolak, Steve, good old Steve.
Yeah.
And the irony is that they had to close down all these bars and restaurants again, specifically hurting a large portion of our state's income, economic, windfalls and surpluses that we have come from those types of businesses. But casinos can stay open.
Yeah.
And I went to the Strip last week, poked around. I even went to the MGM yesterday to go to the pool. It was beautiful. And they're open. And in some places, they're pretty not social distancing, I'll be honest. And a certain property, they didn't even have plexiglass separating people at craps tables. They were all shoulder to shoulder.
Ooh.
I don't like that. But bars, specifically ones that have gaming machines in it, are not allowed to be open at all. So now 60 bars, including some very large ones in this city, are all suing. I'm assuming either, I don't know if they're suing Steve Sisolak or they're suing Clark County for the fact that they have to close but casinos don't. Kind of fucked.
That's a double standard.
It's a total double standard. And then the next step is apparently somebody from high up in a very large, using absolutely all anonymity here, somebody from a very large gaming bar corporation here in Las Vegas was told if they sign on to this lawsuit, the gaming commission will take their gaming license away from them.
Ooh, man.
That's some good old blackmail threat right there.
Yeah, that's bad.
So everything's been kind of fucky.
Yeah, Nevada's getting real shady right now.
Yeah.
Possibility. I guess the White House suggested that we drop back down to phase 0, so close gyms and then only have groups of 10.
Yeah, yes. Apparently, Nevada's not doing too great. Our per million cases per million is at 176, which is above the national average of 120 per million.
And I think we just hit a record of over 1,000 people in ICU units in a day.
Well, these coronavirus tests are very accurate because in the state of Florida, they found that 30 labs in Florida have been inflating the numbers tenfold.
That's messed up.
So these labs have been saying that they've had an almost 100% coronavirus positive rate, which when a local reporter went to find out, it was actually not 100 or 98%, but 9.4%. But Florida's terrible in having all these cases. So now the validity of these coronavirus tests are suspect.
They are. And actually, President Trump is now mandating that hospitals and healthcare facilities have to forward their information directly to the White House now instead of going through the CDC.
That's right. The CDC just doesn't take coronavirus information anymore.
Yeah, so and he wants an investigation into the cases, which I like that. I am all for it. I think these have been massively inflated for political reasons.
Make Orange Man's doing a bad job. Vote
Yeah.
for the other guy.
Always make him look bad. Say anything about Joe Biden that doesn't include Orange Man bad. Like anything about his policies.
Absolutely.
what he's
Everything
running
is
for.
because Orange Man's terrible.
It's like, hey, look at me. I'm not Orange Man.
I'm the other. I'm not Orange Man. Sir, read the teleprompter, please. Just keep reading the teleprompter.
Oh man, he looks so rough.
He's running for senator. As we all know, he's running
Yeah.
for senator.
Just ask his wife. I mean, sister.
Uh,
Dude. Speaking of presidential candidates, Kanye 2020 is still a thing.
Hey,
He will
Yeezy.
be on the ballot at least in Oklahoma under the BDY birthday party,
Birthday party.
and he's registered to vote in his permanent residence of Wyoming.
Where's Kanye from? Isn't he from
He's
New
from
York?
Chicago.
Chicago?
Yeah,
Oh,
Shot City.
Shy City. So, Oklahoma. Well, half of Oklahoma, because of course the other half is now not Oklahoma anymore. It's the Choctaw, Native
It's like
American
the-
reservation. The other half of Oklahomans. Can Native Americans vote in presidential elections?
Don't know.
They don't pay taxes.
I don't know reservation law.
It's pretty fucky from what I understand. It's very complicated. That's why half of Oklahoma doesn't exist anymore. The good old Kanye. Anyone from Oklahoma, vote Kanye.
Yeah, seriously.
Take a picture, vote Kanye. I would love to see that.
I mean-
What if he got like 3 electoral votes?
I would cry.
That'd be amazing. So you get enough write-ins from like Maine, because they split their electoral
Mhm.
college votes in 4, to get Kanye 1 vote. That'd be amazing.
If only. If only our boy had a shot.
Jesus is king, my friend.
Jesus.
Uh,
Man, I don't know. It's just everything.
it just gets worse.
It does
gets
get
crazier.
worse. But the feel-good story of today is Ken and Karen, our favorite meme couple.
Yes, the ones in St. Louis?
Yes. So they, the state of Missouri was pressing charges against them under Kim Gardner, who I guess is the attorney for that, circuit in St. Louis. So Senator Hawley of Missouri has the Department of Justice probing into the validity of said case. Governor Parson of Missouri is also putting his weight behind it. And
What are they charging them with?
I don't even know,
Like
dude.
brandishing a firearm?
Yeah, some like unlawful use of a firearm. That's why Mark McCloskey's rifle was confiscated.
Yeah, that's great. The ATF went and took their firearms. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And supposedly the handgun that Karen, aka Patricia McCloskey, was brandishing.
Oh, you know her name.
Yeah,
Oh.
was defective too. Like she couldn't even actually fire it.
Oh, God.
So Gardner's only comeback to Governor Parson putting his weight behind the McCloskeys was, how dare Governor Parson side with the most divisive leader of our time. Like it wasn't even anything about like the case. It was just like, Orange Man, you're with that orange. That's
I saw
terrible.
a picture today, and obviously, if you've seen the pictures of Ken and Karen, she has terrible trigger discipline, swinging this gun around. Ken might have, looks like he's had some, formal firearms training. He's holding it very well, but it always looked like she's just pointing it into a crowd of people.
Yeah.
And I was like, Alex, that doesn't look great. Doesn't look great. Well, I saw a blown up picture of like a full frame, and she's pointing it at somebody who literally has a large, scary black assault rifle in his hands,
Really?
very close to their property. And it's like, okay, so now this is full like Tiananmen Square now. We're just gonna crop photos. We're just gonna make sure you don't see the full picture. That's great. There's a very famous picture of Prince Harry coming out of a car, and from one angle he looks like he's flipping off the crowd,
Yeah.
but from the other angle he's literally waving. But no. From this angle it's like, fuck you. That's what they're doing. They're just making sure you get the right perspective. Like, oh yeah,
All about
bad people.
the lens. Just
The
controlling
lens.
the lens.
Optics.
That everyone sees.
The optics.
Yeah, so that was messed up, but hopefully the McCloskeys get out of it because I don't really.
Well, they're
think-
both lawyers. I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll be okay.
They're lawyers, and is it really okay to defend your private property? Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Defending
Like there's an alarm that goes off whenever you mention something on the list.
Yeah, you just get a shock in your body.
Were you just aware of your whiteness, sir?
All your TVs turn on and just like, a social worker comes to your house and takes your stuff as punishment.
That was an episode of the Twilight Zone.
I think that's an episode 4 right there.
Yeah, episode 4 always comes back.
It's our ghost that comes around every single time. But got anything else?
No.
I think that's about it.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. We ran along there, but that was a lot. Demagogue News. Find us on Facebook, Instagram. Enjoy our sponsors. You either heard it in the beginning or you're gonna hear it right after this. We are now monetized.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. So stay safe out there and keep your head in a swivel.